I've noticed that you lot like to know the costs of stuff. So I've done it again. On this Bavaria S30 2017, I've worked out all the costs so you know how much it is going to cost you per year to run this beautiful little toy. So let's jump on board and go through the whole shaboodles. Okay, so this is quite a small boat. Honestly. So this is quite a small boat, but it's an entry-level boat, which a lot of people might buy as their first family boat. So 140,000 is quite a lot of money, but in the boat world, that isn't a lot. Now, before I go on board and start showing you everything, look at my socks. They are, believe it or not, the Rolling Stones Big Lips. Can you see them? Oh, it says something. What does it say on there?
Happy socks.
Happy socks. Okay, so I'm going to be happy. I'll be much happier also when this transit's gone past. Okay, so this is a fixed platform. It doesn't go high and low, but let's go and have a look on board. Now, before we start, I haven't cleaned it. It is dirty. I apologise. So I don't need loads of sarcastic comments below saying you thought you'd have cleaned it, all the rest of it. I know I should have. We didn't. We didn't have time. Oh, by the way, we are also selling this boat on boats.co.uk for 139,950. So when I tell you the good and the bad, remember, I am trying to sell it, but I'm also being honest with you. So in you come. Right. Before we kind of go into the details, Bavaria is an entry-level brand, and so there's lots of things that I will pick up on, which aren't big criticisms. They're just pointing out the difference between an entry-level brand like Bavaria and some of the more expensive boats we sell like Princesses and Fairlines. But as you can see, the cockpit for a 30-footer is quite big. Like I can sit around here. I mean, I'm 6'1". You can see I've got plenty of space here to sit around the table. The boat's fitted with a single diesel, which I won't show you, but I'll tell you about how much fuel it uses. So the first thing I notice is the table isn't the best. It's wood, but it's obviously quite cheaply finished. But these are the things you have to compromise when you're buying a cheaper boat. But the seating size and space is quite good. You then come over to the cockpit bar area. You've got a sink. They're my notes for the pricing for later. You've got a barbecue. I don't want this to turn into a negative tour, but there are going to be little things. Look, this barbecue lid bangs into there, and then you say, well, why don't you move the seat forward? Well, I couldn't move the seat forward much because it was then banging into the battery switch, look, which is here. So I couldn't really win on that. So there's just little things like that which would annoy you, but you know, it's not a big deal. Another thing I can just show you is the teak here. On the more expensive boats we sell, you get a teak edging like here, and here you can see there isn't an edge. But it's not a big deal, but it just shows you some of the differences between a more expensive boat and a cheaper boat. So let's have a look at the dashboard. Okay, so the Helm is really, really good. It's clear, it's functional. I can see all the gauges. You've got the rev counter, the speedo. You've got the bow thruster. Honestly, your phone. What are you doing? Really easy to see dashboard. You've got the Volvo controls. It's a single Volvo D4 300 with an outdrive, which is easy to use. And it's very functional. The Garmin GPS. You've got the controls here for the horn and stuff. I haven't turned the battery on. But here it's all good. And the visibility is quite bright. Can you just look forward? The visibility forward is quite good too. So for the dashboard, I give it full marks. Going down below, there's just another thing that's pissing me off. Look, on other manufacturers, they put a little cutout here for the key. So when you open the door with a key in, the key goes through the cut. Here, obviously, it just shears it off, so we've got to be careful of that. Don't break it. Right, let's go. What are you doing?
I'm still filming, by the way.
Okay, kids go. Right, down below, it's pretty straightforward. We have got a little table here, which goes down to convert into a bed with some cushions. And we've got a bedroom there, which I'll show you in a minute. A little TV, come in. And a little galley. Little fridge. We've got a 2-burner gas hob. I'm not overly keen on gas, but lots of storage. This is all right, actually. It's all quite nice. Little sun hatches to let sunlight in. Have a look around the corner there. You've got the TV. So that's quite nice. The table down here is much better. It's like a limed oak finish, which is quite nice. Right, back. You've got the aft cabin, which, again, I don't think is too bad for a 30-footer. You've got reasonable space. Here's a sock sofa. Oh, it's small in here. See the little window? It's got a nice little window. And you've got the bed here, which actually, oh dear, it's not bad. It's not bad. You wouldn't want to be in here for a week. Remember, it's a small boat. But it's nice. Little hatch there. It's all good. Done the toilet. This is going to be quite a quick tour, isn't it? So here's the engine bay on the Bavaria. As you can see, it's a D4 300, which means it's 4 litre. Got the battery over there. Stainless tank. That's the blower pipe, by the way. That sucks in any fumes and sucks it out. Extractor. Stainless tank's very nice. And actually, I must say, the install and the quality of everything down here is top notch. Full marks for the engine bay. Well done, Bavaria. So this is the bit you lot seem to find really interesting. So I'm going to try and include... Oh, my brother. He's shouting for the dog. Listen to him. Right, so this bit I'm going to try and include in all our videos where I can. So I'm going to add a new section today, which is called the JB scores, which we'll do at the end. And we'll try and include this on all future videos too. Because some of you have said, oh, James, what do you give this boat as a score overall? So I'm going to include that as well. And we'll try and do that going forward. Because you lot seem fascinated by the facts. So let's first of all talk about the fuel. It's a D4 300 single outdrive boat. At 20 knots, you're going to be doing about 25 litres per hour with a fuel cost of £1.80 in April 22 UK pricing. You can have a rough cost of £45 per hour. I'd say that's probably at the top end, probably be a bit less than that, probably more like 30, 40 quid, but let's keep it at the high end, £45 an hour in 20 nautical miles. So if an average user is using the boat 50 hours a year, that's 50 times £45, which is about £2,250 per year. So that's not too bad, is it? I'm now going to talk about financing, because again, you guys seem to like that. By the way, do you like my new mic? I bought a Rode Wireless Go 2 because some of you complained that the sound wasn't good enough. So I've bought a new fluffy thing and sound system. The finance costs. So this boat is up for 140,000. So let's just assume that you buy it for 140,000. The banks are going to want a 30% deposit. Let's call it 40 grand. So that means you're borrowing £100,000 over 10 years, which gives you a repayment of about £1,000 per month, which again is quite affordable for a boat. So now let's run through all the other costs and add those into the mix. So we've got a UK berth for this boat is about £6,000 per year. Servicing is quite reasonable, £2,500 per year, because it's quite a new boat. It's 2017, so it won't need an awful lot of expense spending. The anti-foul anodes and polishing, I would allow another couple of £1,000 per year. And lastly, your insurance is about £2,500 a year. So you've got fixed costs of about £13,000 per annum, which is, you know, just over £1,000 per month. So that's your fixed costs. Your variable costs of depreciation, which we'll put on the other side of the screen, which actually I don't think this boat's going to depreciate in the next year or two. I think with the price of new boats and everything else, it represents good value for money. So depreciation is 0. Fuel, we've already done that, is £2,250, and your finance costs are £1,000 a month, so 12,000 per year, depending on if you finance it or not. So your actual fixed costs, just over £1,000 a month, very, very affordable boating, which I hope a lot of you will like. The other thing loads of you have asked is about charter. Now, we do have 2 big charter boats in Mallorca. We've got a Princess 72 and a Sunseeker 76 yacht. Boats this size don't really charter, in my opinion, that well. So I'm not going to give you the charter cost. But in the future, on other videos where I think the boat can charter successfully, I will give you captain's costs. I will give you all the additional costs of running a boat as a charter. So I'm now going to give you a new section, which is the JB scores section. So we'll wipe the screen and put these up fresh on the screen. So the first one we've got is my brother Guy pointing at me. He's going to the pub. JB scores. So the first one is accommodation. So I think for a 30-foot boat, I think there's lots of space. You've got sleeping for 4, you've got a toilet and a shower, so I think it's quite good for 30 foot, so I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. Style, I don't think the boat looks bad, but I think they could have put a bit more glass on it. They've been clever with the black striping outside, so I think they could have done a bit better there, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for style. For fun, well, it's not a speed boat, but that engine will, you know, really give this boat a good turn of speed, and you'll be able to throw it around and stuff. So I think that's going to score quite highly at 7 out of 10. Running costs, well, I think it's very, very affordable. You know, family for 4 using this boat for a year, you know, it's not going to cost you an absolute fortune if you enjoy boating. And just think about all the holidays you won't have to go on abroad because you can use the boat. So I think it's going to give you a 9 out of 10 score for running costs. And the last section is quality. Well, I've pointed out a few things to you, but you must bear in mind this boat is a cheaper boat. I've taken that into account and I've given it 6.5 out of 10 for quality. So the JB overall score for this boat is 35.5. Where did the 0.5 come from? Oh, quality. I gave it 6.5 out of 10 for quality. So it's 35.5 out of 50, which is okay. So, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you enjoy it, press the thumbs up. The subscribers are doing really, really well, and it makes all our algorithms go really well too. So, keep on subscribing and enjoying the videos. And that's enough for today. Reasonable space. It's have a look under there. So excited to see it. Oh! Oh! God, that really hurt.
Right.
Yeah.